How we doing, Nation? Time for another video here in the series of autograph binders. We have two videos in the series so far as we work all the way through A and Z, and then we'll work through the other sports that I have as well. As you know, this was a big hobby of mine, in-person collecting, and a lot of these were done in person. Some are through the mail. I'll share some stories as we go. So if you head to the channel, you can search autograph binders and see A through C. A lot of big names in there so far. Today we're going to do D, and we'll go ahead and get started here. I originally tried to alphabetize them, and that didn't work but so well as I keep adding more. You can see there's a lot of Tyler Danish. I saw him way back in high A ball. That's when these Bowmans were out, and he played for the Winston-Salem Dash. Pretty much every area I lived, the local team played the Chicago White Sox affiliate. So some of these ones down here, I think he signed when he made it to the AAA Charlotte Knights. And you can see some difference. And this will show how an autograph will change over time compared to this one. And this one down here. It tends to get a little shorter. So a lot of Tyler Danish. We have Jordan Danks. Brian Dahlback. Interesting story about him. I've met him multiple times. He was a manager locally. He was managing the Potomac Nationals at the time when I lived in Lynchburg. And I had a friend, big Red Sox fan. And he would yell from the stands at him. He'd go, "Dahlback! Dahlback!" And he kept yelling until he finally got his attention. He kind of looked up at us, laughed, and waved. But just kind of funny story. He was a funny guy. So this was the first one. It kind of faded a little bit. Then these are more recent. We got Matt Davidson. You'll notice a lot of different signature versions from Matt Davidson. He's one of those players who, the longer he played, the easier he actually got to get an autograph from. Early in his career, he was very challenging, didn't really want to sign. And you can kind of almost see, this is the more modern one, which he'll give a lot of, but he will sign. This one I found interesting. This was a through the mail, and I'm always curious about inscriptions. I figured this part is his number. I have no clue why he wrote fire there, because he wasn't playing for him. It says here, Visalia Rawhide. I have no clue what that means. If anybody has any ideas, or you've got it from Matt Davidson and have asked him, I'd love to hear. Some of them down here. This one he put to Cody, which I like getting those sometimes, getting some personalized ones. Kyle Davies, who played for the Royals, he was really good through the mail. Kyle Drabeck was really good through the mail as well. DJ Davis, I remember getting him when he was first drafted. He was playing in the Appalachian League rookie ball when I got that sign. Eric Davis. Now this one may look familiar to you all. This was a through the mail. This is Chris Davis. And yes, that is the same Chris Davis as who's out in Oakland, Kay Davis. Probably looks weird seeing him here in a Brewers jersey. This is a 2010 Topps Pro debut. And that was through the mail. Also, by the way, if you see any cards in any of these videos that you're interested in, I can't guarantee I'll move them, since all this is my personal collection. But, I would certainly discuss prices or trades or something like that if you're interested, especially if I have doubles of people. I'd like to help out, help grow other people's collections. Some of these guys too, I remember getting them signed, and they never really developed into a whole lot as players. I really love this year of Bowman Platinum. I just thought that looked really sharp. And if you prep the card, which is just taking a pencil eraser, I use pencil eraser. Some people say baby powder, but I think pencil eraser is less messy. And just kind of run it over and then wipe it away. The autograph will stick nicely. So we have Austin Dean, who actually debuted this year in the big leagues. Matt Dean, which that shows, because this is a 2014 maybe. How interesting it is sometimes to look back at these minors. And at the time I got that done, even up to last year, I didn't know who he was. And then you look back now and you're like, oh, I remember them. Because like I have an Alex Bregman. But when I got it, I didn't know who he was. So it's kind of cool to look back now. Because some of the guys here, like Jeff Decker, you thought were going to be big prospects and didn't really pan out. And then others that you didn't think were going to do much turned out to be great, and you have their autograph. And it is interesting. His name is Jeff, even though it's spelled with an A. That's kind of a family spelling. Kellen Deglin, which he would always personalize if you got him through the mail, so that's why you see there. Chase DeYoung, I have a lot of him. He, again, was playing for the Dunedin Blue Jays, the same team that had DJ Davis earlier. The only Appy League game that I graphed, but they had a lot of guys with cards, so it was pretty cool. Steve Delabar, he actually made the All-Star team that year. Mickey Delmonico, who had one pretty good year with the White Sox. So there's a lot of him, and you can kind of see how his has changed as well. Travis Demeritte, he got traded over to the Tigers this year. Ryan Dempster, probably the best athlete impression of Harry Carey. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's pretty awesome. Matt Dendecker, who played for the Nationals, I added him to the collection. Delino DeShields, we've got several of his, including this mini from 1992. Ian Desmond. I was able to get that, I think, his last year in D.C. A friend was able to help me out there. Odrosimer Despaigne. He was playing for Norfolk and then ended up getting released and came back through again later in the year, I believe, with Charlotte. Ross Detweiler. I actually won a holiday prize pack from him, kind of a big box for Christmas, with his signed cleats, locker plate, things like that. So that was pretty cool, which was given to the top Nationals fan on Twitter. I think they picked one and it happened to be me, which was cool. These I thought signed really nice too, these TriStar Projections cards, which it was of Argenis Diaz. Didn't really go into do much. I don't do much as far as team sets, but since I worked for the Altoona Curve, my first job after college, I do try and collect them. Dan Diaz, this guy I saw in high A, he could throw about 100 miles an hour, which it was crazy to see that when you're that close to the field as you are at that level. Yusniel Diaz, I have high hopes for him as far as his prospect status goes. He was the centerpiece in the trade for Manny Machado. So he's in the Orioles system. They got a couple good pieces. His hitting kind of plateaued a little bit after the trade. Other guys like Dean Kramer kind of took off, so he may end up getting past as who's the most productive return out of that trade, but we'll see. Alex Dickerson and Chris Dickerson. We also have Wilmer Defoe from the Nationals. This is his first Bowman. It's Bowman Chrome. Then down here, these are really awesome. Bobby Doerr, may rest in peace. The Distinguished Service, and it talks all about his Army service in the back. I'll go ahead and pull this out in case anybody wants to pause and read a little bit about Bobby Doerr's service in the United States Army, which I love. The older generation, a lot of them did go and serve in World War II and took time off baseball to do that. True American hero, Bobby Doerr, he'll be missed. He was a through-the-mail all-star, Hall of Famer, and he's a baseball Hall of Famer, but he'll definitely be missed. Okay, we got Chris Dominguez, Taylor Davis. Another YouTube video, if you haven't seen, when he was with the Iowa Cubs, he always had a knack for finding the camera during the national anthem, and it's a real funny video. You'll have to check that out. We got Drew Dosh. A lot of him. He played for Norfolk, just really all-around nice guy, and then he retired. I think he was just getting tired of the minor league lifestyle. Felix Dubront. We got Ryan Doumit up top. Scott Downs. Here's Hunter Dozier. He really took off this year with the Kansas City Royals. I was happy to have a couple of Doziers. More Kyle Drabek down here. As you can see, some of it isn't completely alphabetical. I added some in later, but there's a lot of Drabek. Team set, we also have Stephen Drew and Brandon Drury. Probably a couple names you guys might recognize. Brian Dunsing, Danny Duffy. Duffy also is a phenomenal through the mail guy. All these cards came through the mail. He also has Colossians 3:23 on there, which is work as if working for the Lord, not for human hands, for your reward is in heaven. That is actually probably my favorite verse. It was actually on my desktop background at work. Kind of keeps everything in perspective for you. So you're doing everything for the Lord to please Him. We have down here, I believe that is Chris Duffy, Zach Duke, which Allen and Ginter signed really well as well. Mariano Duncan, Adam Dunn, the big donkey, Dane Dunning, who went over in the trade for Adam Eaton, Sean Dunston, Cutter Dykstra, who the Nationals got in a Nyjer Morgan trade with Milwaukee. Never really turned into a whole lot. His dad was a heck of a ball player, though. Lenny Dykstra, James Dykstra, who I'm not sure if he's related. Chris Davis. Davis also is a good through-the-mail guy, especially in the off-season. Rick Dempsey, I got him at Orioles Fan Fest this past year. And there's more Matt Davidsons that I got from this season. You can see all those. Same with Delmonico. And you can see how his autographs changed. Matt Duffy, which all these were done in person this year. And that's why they're a little out of order. They got added in after the fact. Adam Duvall. Einar Diaz. He was really odd about signing. Making sure he would only do one. Asking if you've got him already. Which you don't see a whole lot coming from coaches. Doug Drabek signed everything. Iniel De Los Santos rookie card. And then we have Sean Doolittle, which I love these. A friend of mine from sportscollectors.net, we kind of worked out a trade. I got some stuff signed for him down here. He got some stuff signed for me in DC, so I was really happy about those. Montana Duerpah, we have Lucas Duda. And then some more Danny Duffys that were through the mail with Colossians 3:23. So thanks for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed all the D autographs. Next time up, we'll hit E, and we'll keep moving through the alphabet. Make sure you go back and check out A through C. I'll see you next time.